So next up, podcast listeners, race-based layoffs. Yes, you heard that correctly. A CEO makes the case for race-based layoffs. So in the Daily Caller, ladies and gentlemen, you know that we are in a recession. It's undeniable we're in a recession. Do you know what usually happens in a recession? You have layoffs. Depending on the depths of the recession and the length of it, sometimes the layoffs are massive. Sometimes the layoffs are smaller and limited to certain industries. Well, a CEO has made the case for laying people off based on the way they look. Twilio, which is a publicly traded company, ladies and gentlemen, the co-founder of Twilio and also the CEO, Jeff Lawson, announced Wednesday that his customer engagement platform would be conducting a round of layoffs with a race-based focus. Yeah, does this feel like America to you? Lawson, who's the CEO of Twilio, published a blog post on Twilio's website warning that the company will immediately downsize its workforce by 11% to align its investments more squarely with its priorities, like promoting anti-racism and anti-oppression. So keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that Twilio is a software company that writes software that makes it easier for cell phone companies to do all kinds of things, including collecting data, among other things. It is not a political organization. It is a publicly traded company whose job it is to make money in software in the data field, as well as to assist with ads and so forth and make ads easier to run, among many other things. He wants to downsize his workforce by 11% to align their investments more squarely with priorities like promoting anti-racism and anti-oppression. Quote, "We ultimately found that some investments no longer make sense and identified areas where we can be more efficient," he stated. He said the firings are a result of the platform moving and growing too quickly and losing its focus on the most important company priorities, including profitability and its commitment to anti-racism, according to the letter. The company used a rigorous selection process to determine which employees would be impacted through its reconstruction, which means, how do you like that word, reconstruction, according to Lawson. What he means is the company is going to cut a lot of jobs. Today's layoffs, quote, "are about aligning our investments more squarely with our priorities, as well as running our company more efficiently overall," Lawson said. And he continued, "As you all know, we are committed to becoming an anti-racist, anti-oppression company. Layoffs like this can have a more pronounced impact on marginalized communities, so we were particularly focused on ensuring our layoffs, while a business necessity today, were carried out through an anti-racist, anti-oppression lens," Lawson added. In other words, if you can read through all that, the CEO of Twilio, a publicly traded company, has publicly acknowledged that he is going to fire people, a layoff, whatever. Same thing. You're not working. He's going to lay you off or let you go based on how you look, not whether you are a productive employee, not whether you are an employee that is worth moving into another division in Twilio where you could be more productive because you have certain skill sets that are valuable. Oh no! Twilio's CEO is going to get rid of you based on solely the way you look. Folks, in a publicly traded company, there are different standards, and the standards are based on what's best for the investors. And I have news for you. Any reasonable person is going to want to keep the people on their staff who generate the best work, the most work, and by definition, generate revenue for the company. That's who you want to keep. It's uniquely American to say, those are the people that I want to keep. I could care less the way they look. I want to keep them based on their productive personalities and capabilities and based on the data that demonstrates that they're the ones generating the revenue and the good work for the company. How they look is immaterial. That's really what binds us together as a country, namely that you don't care where you buy your products from. What you care about is whether it's a great product. And yet this guy is basically saying what matters is who we keep on, because we are committed to becoming an anti-racist, anti-oppression company. And again, he says layoffs like this can have a more pronounced impact on marginalized communities. Really? Since when? So we were particularly focused on ensuring our layoffs, while a business necessity today, were carried out through an anti-racist, anti-oppression lens. So folks, if you are an owner of the Twilio stock, TWILIO, or if you have some sort of fund that you have invested in, you should ask a question. Hey, money manager, is any of my money invested in Twilio? Because if it is, I want it out. Because folks, this is the only way we're going to be able to fix the wokeness and the nut jobs that are running these companies, these publicly traded companies, which are supposed to, by definition, be colorblind and be numbers focused, right? By definition, when you take your company public, what matters more than anything else are your shareholders, because they own your company collectively. And you need to return to those shareholders the best value that you can. And that is colorblind. It's pure numbers driven. By the way, you don't have to take your company public in America. You can keep your company private, in which case you can have the agenda that you want to have. But once it's public, the agenda is pretty clear. You must do what's best for the actual shareholders. So the Democrat Party is even trying to mess up Wall Street and create companies that aren't based on what is best for the shareholders, but hiring and firing people based on some sort of paint chip color board, which is ridiculous. That is absurd, ladies and gentlemen. It is antithetical to the Declaration of Independence, and it is antithetical to who we are and who we wish to become, a more perfect union. So I must say to you again, when you hear anyone say that there are race-based layoffs, that is equally bad as race-based hiring. It is wrong. It is wrong. It is wrong in the 21st century. We are past that point. And all it does is create more hatred, more division. It doesn't help bring us together. We need people to lead, to talk about how we hire the best person, regardless of the way they look. Okay? Regardless, the best person for the job. That is what will keep us together. That is what will bring us together. And that is uniquely American. And that's the last word for Mark and the Millennials. Thank you for joining Mark and the Millennials. This is Mark Fisher. Thank you to our producer, Christopher Hopkins. Check us out on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Getter, True Social, Rumble, and our website. See you next time.